Yo, 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 peace was good. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another hip hop I'm review. This is part 301. The album that I would like to review tonight is Outkast with their fourth album, Stankonia. This is released in 2000. 2000 is definitely a great year in hip hop. This is a great year overall. This is a great year. I remember that year very well. I was in eighth grade at that time, like in the fall of 2000. I was in eighth grade. A lot of great music that came out that year. Dope movies. Everything was dope. R&B was great. Rock music was good. That's back when nu metal was kind of dying off. Nu metal had their time. They were kind of dying off at that time. It was like slowly dying, but it still had some dope releases at that time. Rock was dope. Like everything dope. Everything was dope that year. Movies was dope, and cars were dope back then. Everything was dope about 2000. Back then 2000, everybody was going crazy over the whole the Y2K scale. All the computers was gonna blow up and all that nonsense, all that jazz. People was really thinking about that. People really was believing that, myself included. But it never happened. Obviously, people thought like in 2000 like, we was gonna have like flying saucers as cars and electronic cars, but now we got Teslas and all that, and everything's going EV now, so it's kind of crazy. But enough of the chit chat. Now we're gonna get into this album. As you can see here, I do have this is the alternative version. Really the alternative cover is like the same album, just the cover is different. I got this off eBay. Got this a couple months ago. I showed it in one of my my recent CD collection videos. If you guys know the cover, the commercial release of Stankonia, you see Outkast. They're behind the they're in front of, excuse me, I should say, they're in front of like an American flag that's white and black. You see like uh Big Boy, he's on the right side. He has a white tee, he has a chain, hair is longer as you can see. Same thing with Andre Three Stacks, where he has a kind of, he's shirtless, got on like leather pants, he's on some like on his Jimi Hendrix type vibes. He has like a scarf and he has like his hair long and things like that. So pretty iconic album cover, but I don't have that version. I figured I'd get this, for album review purposes. I really thought this would be like a lot better to show, in my opinion. The only drawback is that the one of the tabs are broken, and I could replace it, but I won't have the hype sticker. So I was like, fuck it, let me just keep it, right? But yeah. Aquaman I did a review on their album 2 nights ago. Definitely check that out. The album, I believe, went double platinum. There's just like the album, they just catapulted from there on, and basically they were like, highly acclaimed, critically acclaimed, and rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Um, so right after Aquaman yeah, they just started working on this album. And then the thing with this album was that they were trying to go more kind of straight away from hip hop in a sense. You'll see as I go. They didn't want to do the stuff they did back then, like the first three albums. They kind of wanted to stray away from that. Particularly Andre, and yeah, he's just he didn't want to do the shit that he did before, and to the point like where like he was recording, they did not listen to hip hop. They just listened to like a lot of like 60s and 70s rock music and pop and things like that, and it kind of shows on this album. Yeah, and then like at that time, I think like around the time that they were making a Aquemini, or within the release of that album, they actually brought their own recording studio, so that way they didn't have to like depend on like working with like just working with the record labels, the studios. They didn't have to pay for that. Like they could just do on their own pace and that kind of thing. That studio originally was owned by Bobby Brown, and they bought it off Bobby Brown, and then the rest is history. That's how Stankonia was born, and how the name Stankonia came about was um, stank. It was like the word for funky, and the plutonium is like more for like like the futuristic ways of living and that kind of thing, the futuristic society. and then they just put Stankonia for that, and that's how they came out with the name Stankonia. Something to throw out there. Now let's get into the album. The album spawned 3 singles. The singles include So Fresh So Clean Clean, Miss Jackson, and B.O.B. Bombs Over Baghdad. Bombs Over Baghdad actually was my introduction to the group. I used to always see the video all the time. I used to have it on heavy rotation. Something that just had to throw it out there. All right, so show you out there. Album looks like pretty cool. Kind of has like that late '60s, like that psychedelic rock covers, posters and that kind of thing is pretty cool. Really like that. See in the back, you see 3 Stacks. He's on his Jimi Hendrix shit, and then you got you got Big Boy hanging on to the streets, man. You know what I'm saying? By the way, this was the album that Andre 3000 he started using the moniker Andre 3000. This was the album that he started using that term that people love and praised Andre 3000. On this album, he started using that moniker, so I had to throw it out there. All right, so open it up. See, looks like pretty cool. I hate when people do that. I hate when people write shit on that. But back then, that's when people used to borrow CDs, and I'm like, people would be like, "Yo, where's my CD? I wrote my name on it. That's mine." That's the era we came from. But I understand. Cause see right there, with the long hair, that's really fucking fly. On the '70s fly shit, that's one thing. They've always been fans of the '70s, and I'm glad they always kind of stuck to that. Kind of the same vein with Camp Lo. Camp Lo was kind of like that too. All right, open it up. This is some fly shorties right there. Really nice. Open it up. Yeah, man. You can just see the dope brotherhood that they have. Like, you can tell they love each other, man. And just like with the Aquemini and I believe ATLians, they show the lyrics as well. All right, yes sir. Same thing. All right, yes sir. Showing that. It's pretty dope. All right. Now, production is done by Organized Noise, Earth Tone 3, which you guys know is Outkast and Mr. DJ, and I said Organized Noise, Earth Tone 3, and Carmo. So those are like the producers that does the production. Carmo only did like 1 track. I believe the track is called, what is it? What's the name of that song? Gangsta Shit, which I'll talk later on in the video. He like co-produced that. He did the beat, and then I think it was like Outkast that did like the co-production, but I'll get more into that later on to the video. Now let's get into the features. The features include Cujo Goody from Goody Mob, Killer Mike, Jay Sweet, Gangsta Boo, rest in peace to her, Echo, Be Real of Cypress Hill fame, Backbone, Big Gip of Goody Mob, Backbone, he's part of the Dungeon family, Erykah Badu, Slim Calhoun, C-Bone, Timo Goody from Goody Mob, my favorite member of Goody Mob, CeeLo Goody of Goody Mob fame, Big Rube of Society of Soul, and Sleepy Brown. All right, those are the features of the album. Now let's get into the album. All right, track 1 is the intro. Basically a very pointless intro. Didn't get anything out of that. That was produced by Earth Tone 3. So skip that. Track 2, Gasoline Dreams, featuring Cujo Goody of Goody Mob. Throw it to start the album. That was produced by Earth Tone 3. Dope track, really enjoyed that. It has like a nice rock feel to it. I like the line by Cujo when he says, "Officer the Most High, you touch me, you touch the apple of his eye. If they kick us out, where will we go? Not to Africa, because not one of them acknowledges us as the kinfolk. Stop still eating pork, abomination, desecration for beating flesh, penalty for violation is death. Very dope. So I like that line. That was track two, Gasoline Dreams. Track three, I'm Cool Interlude. Another point of skit. I could have done without that, honestly. Um, then we get to track four, So Fresh So Clean. That was the third and final single of the album. That was produced by Organized Noise. One of their most big songs in their careers. I mean, that song is in everything. It's in commercials. It's in movies. It's in ads all over the place, man. Not gonna lie, I got kind of a little burnt out from that song after a while, but it is a classic song. It's a great song. It's timeless. But there's times like, okay, I get kind of tired of hearing that song, man. And the video was in heavy rotation back then. So, but yeah, pretty dope song right there. I like the line by Big Boy when he says, "Canary Yellow 79 Seville is on display. My nigga Bongo hooked it up. Oh my, I'm gonna dip my rims today so a nigga can ride out to the honeycomb hideout. I'ma show you how to wild out like Jack Tripper. Let me be Bambino on your snipper. YKK, your zipper. Lick you like a lizard when I slizzard. Or sober 6 million ways to fold you." Whew, fire. So that was track four, Miss Jack. So Fresh So Clean. Track five, Miss Jackson. That's the second single of the album. Great song, classic song right there. It's another song that had heavy rotation in the video circuits as well as So Fresh So Clean. And the song basically it's sort of about basically having a kid out of wedlock and him apologizing to Erica Badu's wife, because at the time they had a kid and they had out a, without before marriage and that kind of thing. So him just apologizing to Erica Badu's mom's but then he used her government. He used Miss Jackson as like to protect the names of the guilty, that disclaimer that you see in like crime stories and shit like that. So basically the same concept. So that's what I got from that. I like the, and then also in this track, Big Boy was actually going through like baby mama drama and that kind of thing. He really talks about that. I like the line by Big Boy when he says she needs to get a piece of the American pie and take her bite out. Take her bite out. That's my house. I'll disconnect the cable and turn the lights out. Let her know that her grandchild is a baby and not a paid check. Private school, boy, daycare shit, medical bills. I pay that. I love your mom and everything, but see, I ain't the only one who laid down. She want to rib you right up to start. Right to start a custody war. My lawyers stayed down. Love that fucking dope. I mean, I know some people could relate. I mean, I don't have kids, but I've known people that's gone through that same battle with baby mamas and stuff like that. That's why I'm single. I would like to have kids one day, but trying to find that right one and, don't rush. Focus on your shit, make sure you financially stable, that you got a, dope place to stay, that you good, things that are the third. So, so that's track five, Miss Jackson. Track six, Snapping and Trapping. That was produced by Earth Tone 3, featuring Killer Mike and Jay Sweet. I thought the beat was okay, not my thing. I didn't really care for it. But I do like the line by Big Boy when he said, "Nigga, you pop lock for pop rocks, but I'm only popping tweeters and wooters and pussies be blowing purple with my feet up. I'ma eat up anybody who tells this. I blew with it. Superhuman powers poke your chest in. The next of kin." Fucking dope. Love that shit. So that was track six, Snapping and Trapping. Track seven, DF Interlude. Again, another point of skit. Basically, just not really pointless, but like basically they like both artists are just yelling out their aliases. Like, everybody knows about, Big Boy with Sir Lush's Bigfoot, Andre 3000 with Andre 3000, and a couple other aliases that they go by, and things of that nature. So something that I had to throw it out there. So that was track seven, DF Interlude. Track eight, Spaghetti Junction, one of my favorite tracks of the album, fucking banger right there. That's a song that could have been a single, especially for that time period. Um, that was produced by Organized Noise, dope joint right there. Like I said, one of my favorite tracks. I like the line by Big Boy when he says, "While I'm drinking on yak, while I'm dipping off that line, off that lack, the junkies are on my way, are always smoking upon that crack, be laying that college park holes flat on their backs, living the life of pimp, steadily making this paper stack. Niggas don't understand to make a plan, crumble your herb, man, till they start kicking in the dough and we ready to blast them. Whew, fire. Yeah, that beat is fucking dope, man. Rest in peace to Rico Wade, man. Let me get some water. Ah, dope stuff right there. So that was track 8, Spaghetti Junction. Track 9, Kim and Cookie Interlude. Um, Basically, yeah, I didn't really get anything out of this, so I usually skip that track right there. Um, then we got track 10, I'll Come Before I Come, featuring Gangsta Boo and Echo, recipes of Gangsta Boo. Um, Pretty cool track. It's basically like a sex track, basically. Um, I like the line by Big Boy when he says, "I'm a gentleman, I'ma satisfy your soul, and then I'ma get mine like Wimbledon. We back and forth across the court until we give out. Do you take it all or spit it out? Are you faking the funk or loving the lie? Do you really know what it feels like to have no control over the G spot? It's like a brand new pair of Reeboks or junkie freshly detox. You feel whew, you feel the tingling all over the line, convulsions or the rooster pox. Whew, fire. He killed that shit right there. So that was track 10, I'll Call Before I Come. Track 11, B.O.B. Bombs Over Baghdad. Bombs Over Baghdad. Again, as I mentioned before, this was my introduction to the group. It was the first single of the album. I've always thought it was an okay track. Not my favorite track, but it's cool. I do like the video for it. The video is pretty cool, but again, I always was kind of like an okay track. So it is what it is. Now we need to get to the next track, Explosion, track 12, featuring Be Real. Another dope joint right there. Featuring Be Real and Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor was not featured. It was not listed in the credits, but he is in the track. But I do like the line by Andre 3 Stacks when he says, "I figure before the first gun blasts, they know who gonna win. Now, won't they want make us for all fools like class clowns? Praying Private Ryan comes around. Sound travels as a thousand 1,130 feet per second. Niggas in the street, they want in, hurry. When niggas stop biting, that's when 3,000 starts to worry. A little knowledge from the college of Wizard Ray Murray. Fire. Dope shit right there. So that was track 12, Explosion. Track 13, Good Hair. Um, Basically, a guy's hollering at this chick right here. You know, she got the good hair. And he's like, "Yeah, you ain't black, you Spanish," and that kind of thing, and things like that. And basically calling her out for lying, like she's faking the funk and that kind of thing, just because of her hair and stuff like that. So kind of a pointless scale. Could have done without that, honestly. So that was track 13, Good Hair. Track 14, We Love These Hoes. Produced by Organized Noise. Dope drum right there. We love these hoes that was features Backbone and Big Gift from Goody Mob. I like the line by Big Boy when he said, "You ready to drop your load? Like prop planes be dumping that cocaine. You ready to turn your fro from that for natural straight to a cold wave." Whew, fire, dope shit right there. So that was track 14, We Love These Hoes. Track 15, Humble Mumble, featuring Erykah Badu. I didn't really care for this song. Could have done without it. It was alright. Didn't really do anything for me, so I usually kind of skip that track. Same thing with track 16, Jerking Again, Interlude. could have done without it. Pointless skit in my opinion. Um, Now we got track 17, Question, produced by Earth Tone 3, Outkast Mr. DJ. This song is basically like an Andre 3000 solo track. It's a pretty dope concept where he asks questions and he answers his own questions. So I thought that was pretty cool. Very innovative track. Very creative. So pretty dope track right there. Uh, Track 18, Red Velvet. Another dope track right there. Cool track. That was also produced by Earth Tone 3. Um, I like the line by Big Boy when he says, "Don't get me wrong, got 4 albums, stay consistent, you got a bodyguard. I let my nigga to the biscuit. Twisted cap back, you got blood off in your fur hat. Cap wrap, your link snap, you slumped off in your Cadillac. For what though? Some diamonds in the Bentley, what you dying for? Alright, ho, I'ma bank my check and let my mic glow. Whew, fire. Killed that shit. People sleep on Big Boy, man, on the mic, man. That dude is like nasty on the mic. Alright, so that was track 18, Red Velvet. Track 19, Cruising in the ATL Interlude. Again, another pointless skit. Didn't really get anything out of it, so I just kind of skipped that track right there. Um, you got track 20, Gangsta Shit. That was produced by Carl Mo. The Posse Cut features Slim Calhoun, C-Bone, and T-Mo from Goody Mob fame. Dope track right there. I like the line by T-Mo when he says, "We got a simple little problem that we gotta solve. I like it ain't about the money. We gotta handle the job, no color or rags, just guns and masks. We not scared of the blast and dip off fast." Whoo, fire. Slim, when he says, "Back on the scene, a sack of green, sitting on chrome and rubber bands, paint looking like candy land." It's Slim, the southpaw, trigger man, flipping work and whipping weight, rock up, roll, and get the paper, chop them holes, and then you skate back to the block with the deflate. Grams the O's, slabs to the whole ones to the flake. 3,000, 3 sacks when he says, "Outcast with the K." Yeah, them niggas are hard. Harder than a nigga trying to impress God. We'll pull your whole deck for fuck pulling your card. Whew, fire. Fire. They killed that shit right there. So that was track 20. That was track 20, Gangsta Shit. Um, Track 21, Toilet T-shirt. That was produced by Earth Tone 3. Dope track right there. Like the beat for it. Basically talking about teenage pregnancy, that kind of thing. It's kind of goes some like Brenda's got a baby kind of thing, kind of ordeal, but not as bad, but that makes sense. But Toilet T-shirt. That's the vibes I got from that track. It's a nice beat to it. All right. Then we got track 22, Slum Video, I was gonna say Slum Village, Slum Beautiful, featuring CeeLo Green or CeeLo Goody from Goody Mob. That was produced by Earth Tone 3. Dope track right there. I like the line by Big Boy when he says, "What I like to do most is to spit this game like sports announcers, and I will pitch pat them hoes down like a gentleman club bouncer, ounce of a killer dealer. Be making my game more flagrant, and once I'm done, had some Cuervo, about 6 shots. I'm nothing to play with." Whew, fire. Dope shit right there. So that was track 22, Slum Beautiful. Track 23, Prenup, Interlude. Didn't really get anything out of that. And the last track, Stankonia, Stank Love, produced by Earth Tone 3. Was not a fan of this song. All right. My overall thoughts of this album. I thought this album was good. I was a little bit disappointed with it. I'm not gonna hold you. There was some songs that had its moments. But I will have to say I'm more of a fan of the first 3 albums. Personally, I'm all for the experiment. People experimenting. But what killed it for me was like the pointless skits. Some of the beats could have been a little bit better, but I get it. You know, they were experimenting. They don't want to make the same album twice, so I can respect that. But the skits was like what killed it for me personally. But yeah, it's a pretty cool album, man. Yeah, but it ain't nothing like the first three albums, and that's crazy for me to say because for years I used to always harmed upon. I've always harped on me loving the first two albums more than in Criminal, but then Criminal I have to add on to that. Criminal got some joints, man. But yeah, overall, pretty cool album. Not my favorite from theirs, but it's pretty cool. I had one of my subscribers told me the other day that they prefer this album over Criminal. I'm not mad at that because I like to hear different opinions. So I know most people will say Criminal or the first two albums, but I'm not mad at that. But this is the album that got them, that basically made them superstars. You know what I mean? So I would say like Criminal was like their breakthrough album. This was like the album that made them superstars and that kind of thing. And then that's pretty much it. And honestly, this is like the last time I'll review from them. I'm not gonna bother to get the Speaker Love Box Love Below nonsense. Not my thing. I'm sorry. So maybe somebody else could review that. I don't know. We'll see. If I see it for a good price, I'll pick it up. But I'm not gonna like go out my way to get the album. I do need to get Big Boy's solo albums. I definitely get my hands on those. But yeah, this is Outkast, Stankonia. This was released in 2000. Let me know what you guys think of the review. Let me know what you think about the album. Let's talk. Let's just speak about it. All right. And I appreciate all the support. Everybody that's always showed love. That always sends comments and all that. Salute to you. Thank you for that. Definitely stay tuned for more. All right.